Hey guys, good morning. It is Mo on this 13th of May. Yay! We have got lots of news, not so crazy, and all the things going on. So, our oh, wait, I forgot to say hello. Welcome, 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 Wolfram. As always, doing your modly mod duties. I so appreciate it. Christine, good morning. And Tammy Bogart, good morning. Tammy CA, good morning, and doggone it, I hate it when I can't see just quite right. That's such an irritating thing. Tammy CA, good morning. Alrighty, so our first story is that an Olympic gold medalist, Kyle Schneider, was arrested in a schmonstitution ring. Now, I thought we weren't supposed to say schmonstitution anymore, and we were supposed to call them workers of a sexual nature, but I mean, call it what you call it, but apparently he was caught. No, whatever word you use. Olympic gold medalist and former Ohio State wrestler Kyle Snyder was arrested on Friday as part of a Sponstitution sting, per multiple reports, which is always good. Why be into Sponstitution if you don't get caught? Can we change his name to John though? Because I think it's appropriate. Or change all Johns to Kyles. I think Kyle fits better, but who knows? The 29-year-old was one of 16 men who were charged during a sting operation on Columbus's north side conducted by Columbus police. Was Chris Hansen there? Did he say, "Have a seat"? "Have a seat, sir." According to Columbus Police Sergeant Joe Albert, eh, the name Albert will be associated with bad for a long time just because I don't wanna hear about them anymore. The department posted ads for escort services to the internet in an attempt to bust those looking to engage in smonstitution. Now, Snyder allegedly called and texted police around 8:15 p.m. on Friday, seeing the online ads, and later arrived at a nearby hotel to meet up for what he thought was a legitimate escort service. They're they're going on the internet. The cops are trying to entrapinate us. When he arrived, cops said that he paid the undercover officer in cash and asked her for a mouth hug before he was arrested for engaging in smonstitution. He was released from the scene. His career in wrestling started with the Buckeyes. Snyder won 3 consecutive NCAA heavyweight championships from 2016 to 2018. In 2015, he was part of the Ohio State team national title win. He was inducted into the university's Athletic Hall of Fame in 2024. Also, in his time at Ohio State, Snyder competed in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games, where he became the youngest American wrestler to ever win gold. He was 20 years old. He also competed in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games and finished with a silver medal. In his most recent Olympic performance in Paris, he finished fourth. Well, he didn't even finish this time, so no medal for you. Sucks to lose sometime, I guess. Well, and you didn't get sucked. This is a family show, so I won't say that again. Well, in interesting news and medical news that may be a blessing for many Americans, especially, our parents, our relatives that are aging, definitely possibly good news. Doctors say they have discovered a drug already on the market that could prevent 1 million new cases of Alzheimer's a year. And welcome, Jason JJ and Audio Coffee, Carol Sue Scott. Good morning. Alzheimer's affects nearly 7 million Americans, a number that's expected to spike to 13.9 million by 2060. Given the devastating effects of this incurable disease, the hunt is on for a drug that could help prevent or slow the progression. Now, a new study has found that uh, NRTIs, or nucleoside reversed transcriptase inhibitors, a common class of medicines for HIV, could dramatically decrease the risk of developing this neurodegenerative disorder. Analyzing the data from over 270,000 patients aged 50 and older, researchers observed that the risk of Alzheimer's is decreased by 6 to 13% for each year the patients were on these NRTIs. The results are, to say the least, incredibly promising. It is estimated over 10 million people around the world develop Alzheimer's annually, said Jari Krishna Abadi, founding doctor or director of the University of Virginia Centers for Advanced Vision Science. Our results suggest that taking these drugs could prevent approximately 1 million cases of Alzheimer's disease every year. However, what are the side effects of these drugs? Now, NRTIs are primarily used to prevent HIV from replicating inside the body. Amadi's team discovered that these drugs also inhibited the inflammasomes, the immune system components implicated in Alzheimer development. The next step would be to test these drugs in clinical trials, although Abadi noted his team has already devised another drug that is going down that route. We have developed a new anti-inflammasome blocking drug called K9. Ah, so that is safer and more effective than the versions that are given for HIV. Now, this drug is in clinical trials for other diseases, and they plan to also test K9 for Alzheimer's disease. The study was published last week in the Journal of Alzheimer's and Dementia. The finding shows the growing potential for Alzheimer's treatments. A compound found in rosemary and sage, carcinic acid, has been shown to reverse memory loss and reduce brain inflammation in mice with Alzheimer's, bringing their cognitive function back to near normal levels. So I am glad that they're doing research. I would like to know what the side effects are of these particular drugs because it is amazingly, it's just it's amazing if they find this drug, but every single drug has a side effect, and I wonder what the side effect of these particular drugs are, and the new drug that they are creating. Because again, if it helps you with Alzheimer's, but makes it so you're so nauseous and dizzy you can't eat, it's a bit of a kick in the butt. In happy news, before we go to Lord Chippy, because we need happy news. A mother and a son, to receive graduate degrees on the same day. Very, very cool. I saw this story and I was in my feelings, so I picked it. A mother and son are celebrating the run up to Mother's Day by walking across the stage Friday to accept their master's degrees from Texas Christian University. The school announced its first ever graduate only ceremony on Friday will feature Kyle Fields accepting his Master of Liberal Arts degree. And okay, why would you get a master's degree in liberal arts? I mean, I'm not trying to be a butthole and rain on the parade, but what the hell are you going to do with a master's degree in liberal arts? Unless you want to go be a professor, I guess. But still, look, it's not my monkey, it's not my circus. I just bought a ticket, laugh, and eat popcorn. But I mean, a master's degree in liberal arts, I hope you find a great job because them student loans are gonna take a bite out of crime, if you get my drift. And his mother, Brandy Fields, receiving her Executive Master of Business Administration degree. These sound like made up things. Again, I'm not trying to be a butthole. I think it's great that this family came together to support each other while they were doing higher education. But these degrees sound like I just went into debt so I could have a fancy name. Now, that is my personal opinion. You don't have to agree, but it just, I don't know. Any hoozle. Sharing this moment with my son is something I never imagined, Brandy Field said in a news released from the school. We've supported each other through late nights and strict deadlines. To walk the stage together, especially on Mother's Day weekend, is an incredibly meaningful moment for our family. She said her journey toward getting her graduate degree was a long one. Returning to the classroom after so many years was a challenge, but learning alongside experienced professionals from diverse backgrounds made it incredibly rewarding. The insights I gained both from professors and peers were invaluable. Kyle Fields, who works as an equipment manager for TCU Athletics, said he believes sports will be in his future. Sports have always been a big part of my life. After graduation, I wanted to continue working in the sports industry, hopefully with Nike. So there you go. I mean, again, I'm not dogging on college education, but it is in the news lately with all these people on TikTok claiming they're never going to pay their student loans back, that they were too young, that the loans were predatory. And you sort of have me on not the companies and the banks don't explain to these young kids exactly what, adjustable rate and, you know, oh gosh, was it interest and all of this. But you I get their side, but you signed a contract, and I'm not paying for your ass to go get a master's degree in undercover, lesbian basket weaving. I'm just not doing it. Look, I got 6 of my own kids to put through trade school and or college, but I ain't doing it. Look, no. The answer is no. You come to me, ask me to pay for your degree. As a quite twice college dropout who paid back both of her loans when she took them, I have no sympathy. Yes, my loans were only in the thousands. I think one, if I'm honest, because I only stayed a year and it was a local community college. But no, I have honestly sat down with my girls and told them that, I want you to do college smart because I know 50-year-olds that are still paying off student loans and I don't want that to be their future. But that being said, this was a heartwarming story. I just, it, look, it just, to me, college isn't a scam, but do we need to have all of the colleges? In a warning to parents because the dumbassery of TikTok continues. The dumb talk continues in a new dangerous trend for social media and clout. Uh, People are encouraging kids to set their laptops on fire, causing chaos in schools. If you have children in school, you'll know that most of them get a tablet or a Chromebook. Gone are the days where they get a lot of books, to read books, those things with paper in them that you open and you cover with, uh, a grocery bag. Those things are almost unheard of. You get workbook sheet papers and Chromebooks. And apparently, some dildos are out there telling kids to do this. This is a Darwin Award, and I wouldn't be so pissed off if it wasn't kids doing it because this happens to a school. There actually is a fire in school linked to this dumbass, behavior. I'm going to be pissed off because it's not like the feds are going to go after the idiot who's telling kids to do this. It's gonna be a young kid who did a dumb thing, not knowing because their brain isn't fully formed, the greater consequences. It's just like so I'll tell you guys a story. So, middle daughter had a bug that really stopped working really well, so since I had a new to me car, I gave her my old car and we switched her insurance. Well, since the bug is sitting down, she was supposed to be turning it on and off, making sure it's just not look, I don't know car magic, but I know you have to turn it on and off once in a while if it's sitting there. That being said, she's like, "Oh, I'll just drive it around the neighborhood." And both Mr. Moe and I said, "No, you won't." And she didn't get that because she's not covered in under insurance under that, it could bankrupt us if anything happens. And I know she doesn't get that because she doesn't have the mindset yet of an adult, but she was ticked. She's like, "I'm not gonna run into anyone." I was like, "No one thinks they're gonna run into anyone, but it happens." Anywho. Not litigating family issues, but there is a point where kids just don't think of the greater implications. And I have grace for that. I don't have grace for the jackasses who are telling kids to do this shit. Sorry, I've been cursing this morning. I try to keep it out of mornings with Mo. I will check myself before I wreck myself. Uh, Known as the Chromebook Challenge, the dangerous stunt encourages kids to jam metal objects like paper clips and push pins into the charging ports of their laptops, causing electrical short circuits that can ignite fires. Connecticut is ground zeros for this reckless trend. The Newton High School evacuated last week after a student's laptop started spewing toxic smoke. Now, the room at the time of the fire was filling with smoke. Newton Fire Marshal DJ Zordon said, Zordon? Zordon! He died at the end of Power Rangers. I was so sad. But Rita Repulsa and whatever his name is got together and started dancing. Um, for the 2 of you who watched the end of the original Power Rangers, you're welcome, or spoiler alert needed. The batteries are essentially catching on fire, and once they burn, they produce toxic smoke. The unsettling phenomenon isn't confined to the nutmeg state. Schools across California, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Wisconsin, and Washington. And Jason JJ, if you stop cursing, I'll stop super chatting. Well, let's be real. I have to go to the dentist today. It's just a cleaning, but y'all, I don't know if it's just a me thing and I'm just super sensitive to sounds or whatever, but that drill toothbrush thing that they use, oh my god, is almost worse than those, screaming bowls. It just I am on edge, so it's one of the rare times that I use both of my earbuds because normally I only have one because I have wild feral boys, but I don't know how anyone would wanna do that. I mean, even when I was getting my nails done, I'm like, "Why do you like that sound?" It's more than just a trend, Zordon continued. It causes a lot of disruption. The school has to be evacuated, and firefighters have to respond from the firehouse subsequently to the scene. It takes resources from other emergencies that may be happening at the time. Yes, teenagers, please attempt to not be dill holes all the time. Just because you see something on the TV and you want to get out of trigonometry, I mean, not that I would not have been tempted as a teen. Look, you set me in a trigonometry class and I have a MacGyver way to get out. I'm not saying I wouldn't be tempted. Again, I'm honest with y'all. I would be tempted to get out of trigonometry. On TikTok, the trend goes by other names like Chromebook Durability Test and F Student, with some videos racking up thousands of views in mere hours. Clips showing, well, I'm doing it wrong. I just need to light laptops on fire and apparently I'll be famous on TikTok. Clips show kids crackling as they jam springs and pins into their laptop, waiting for smoke to billow out, all for a few moments of viral fame and comments like anything but work, mocking that they'd rather torch their Chromebook than do schoolwork. Not to mention, parents will be charged for the full amount of this. Ask me how I know. My son did not set his laptop on fire, but he did crack the screen, and we had to repay for a replacement. So, I'm guessing this trend's gonna stop once a bunch of moms pull out their chanclas and, start bringing, mama justice on, or dad justice. We're equal opportunity parent people here. Now, the consequences are mounting, as NBC Connecticut noted. In Southington, Connecticut, students at Southington High School were evacuated on May 7th after another Chromebook fire. Similar incidents have been reported in Cromwell, Derby, Newton, Connecticut, as well as East Fishkill, New York, prompting stern warnings from state fire officials. But this chaos isn't just about kids seeking attention. Videos of the trend have flooded TikTok For You pages, and school officials are struggling to keep up. According to TikTok, 99.7% of dangerous content is flagged from October to December last year and was removed proactively, but the platform still faces criticism for how quickly such trends spread. Yeah, this is why we're going to get Final Form Jesus. I mean, this is what happens. I do need to make a Gregorian chant with lightning bolts for the Final Form Jesus. So I don't know who needs to hear this. If you're a parent or grandparent or something, pass it along. I mean, I'm sure not every school is dealing with it, but it is something to be noticed about. And if you need to hear this, which I don't understand why you would, um, don't light your effing Chromebook on fire in school, you numbnuts. I mean, I can give grace for stupid teenager stupidity, but no. Now we do have a little bit of a longer intro for Lord Chippy. I made one and I'm proud of it, so I'm gonna make you guys listen to it.
They're our skin, they steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne. No, no crowd can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
See, I did promise that I would get better stingers, and that is it. This woman this person that claims a woman and apparently has 2 X chromosomes, but has been, by the power of the Church of Mo and this pink pen, henceforth excommunicated from the woman role. She can be a female, she might be human, we don't know, but she is a swamp donkey hag who ended a life because she's just a swamp donkey. A woman who unalived a pregnant victim she saw on Facebook cut the fetus from the womb and claimed the child as her own to face the death penalty. I take 1 second, let me see if I give a damn about this. After a thorough Yuri Bikenic look, I have not found one damn to give about her getting the death penalty. Now, I know some people are absolutely against it. I kind of give no Fs for this woman. That being said, this is why I'm not a judge, because my bias would take over. A 45-year-old woman in Arkansas who lured a pregnant victim into an ambush and cut the fetus out in a botched scheme to, quote, claim the woman as her own, will face the ultimate punishment after the state's highest court rejected an appeal in which her lawyers argued that her upcoming state murder trial was barred by double jeopardy. Look, I don't care if it's triple jeopardy for you, you heifer. Like, you giant, massive thunder cunt. I don't care. I really don't. Really, really. You stole from another family a future grandbaby, a child, and a mother. You absolute swamp donkey hag. Like, you corroditated, dumpster water person. And you want to appeal because, whatever. Let's read why she wants to appeal. I don't give two craps, but let's read. The Arkansas Supreme Court last week denied the appeal of Amber Waterman, holding that her federal kidnapping convictions did not prohibit the state from pursuing murder charges against her for the 2022 slaying of 33-year-old Ashley Bush and her unborn daughter, whom she had named Valkyrie Grace Williams. May both of you rest in peace. May both of your spirits be free of the torture and pain and fear of your last moments, and may your personal monster and demon get all of the attention from Satan when she goes. Waterman last year pled guilty to 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death and 1 count of causing the death of a child in utero. She was subsequently sentenced to 2 life sentences with no chance of parole, as there is no parole in federal prison. The state of Arkansas is scheduled to try Waterman on 2 counts of premeditated and deliberate capital murder. Let me write this down. I do want to see if this is streamed, because this is a case for the Petty Express. It's going to be cursy, it's going to be pissy, but I stand for mamas and not this. Ma'am, you look like a foot. I'm a thumb, the big toe. Ugh, I just don't, get off my screen. Now, family stuff can be hard, but it shouldn't involve force multipliers. Lost 2 sons. A man went to take his mom out for Mother's Day, but was unalived by his stepbrother. On Mother's Day, dude, seriously, you had to take this out on Mother's Day when your mama was going to go to Cracker Barrel for the early special, get her, her chicken dumplings and hash brown casserole? You absolute dick. He does look like a dick too. He looks like someone who, always wants to be better than you in a conversation. Like, you had an achievement, he had a better achievement. That's what he looks like. Snarky little smug ass. Daggone it. Sorry. My filter is broken today, apparently. According to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, deputies responded around 7:30 p.m. Saturday to a home in the 700 block of North Vista Drive in Houston for a shooting. When they arrived, they found 32-year-old Eduardo Alfredo Jr. suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Now, paramedics unfortunately could not help him, and he passed away on the scene. Harris County Sheriff's Detective Mario Quintanilla told local NBC affiliate KPRC that the first responders were rendering aid on Alfredo in the upstairs bedroom when they heard movement inside the room, and they found the suspect, 50-year-old Charles Story, and took him into custody. Deputies backed out and secured a warrant to process the scene, Quintanilla said. Now, detectives determined that Alfredo had arrived at the home to take his mother out for Mother's Day, but Story, Alfero's stepbrother, was in the home, possibly during a drinking binge. Now, the two men started arguing, and Story allegedly shot Alfero dead with their mother still in the home. Deputies arrested Story on murder charges and took him to the Harris County Jail. What should have been a pleasant evening between mother and son turned deadly instead, Gonzalez said, adding that a mother had lost her two sons on Mother's Day. A probable cause arrest affidavit that would further detail the argument between the brothers is not immediately available. Story's next appearance in court is also unclear. Dude, you're such a dick. Well, only in Florida. Like a pack of wild animals, teens claim they laid hands on a man senseless because he was bothering an autistic friend of theirs, police say. Well, sweethearts, come here. Come here to Mama Mo. Closer. Closer. You can't lay hands on someone you don't agree with. Now, if he was being a super douche and messing with your autistic friend, then I don't think that's a means for self-defense. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure protecting your friend's honor is not covered under self-defense. Protecting your friend's feelings, while this man may be an asshole, there is nothing illegal from this man being an asshole. Now, that being said, you don't lay hands on someone to the point that they need a cervical spinal stabilizer. And why, good Lord. Yes, these are upstanding young men going straight to the, choir practice. A group of teens in Florida beat a man, quote unquote, senseless last week, jumping on him like a pack of wild animals and pummeling him repeatedly with sickening rage, police officials say. Now, the alleged attack unfolded Monday, May 5th around 11:40 p.m. in Polk County. Oh, good God, I want to see the Sheriff Grady on this. With cops reporting that the four teens, three of whom were over the age of 18, well, that was smart, are being charged as adults. Authorities say they assaulted the victim because he was, quote, bothering an autistic friend, end quote, of theirs, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office press release. Juan Ramos, 35, told police he was talking to a man at Mulberry Car Wash on North Church Avenue when the group allegedly set upon him. The next thing I know, I'm getting pounded, Ramos said, recalling to NBC affiliate WFLA from his hospital bed. I didn't know what was going on. The teens that are charged as adults have been identified by the police as Ethan Simmons, 18, Wesley Davis II, 18, who are both charged with second-degree unaliving, attempted, aggravated battery with bodily harm, rioting, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and Dalton Creech, who is 19, is charged with rioting and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The cops have requested that a 17-year-old who was allegedly involved be charged as an adult with attempted murder, aggravated battery with bodily harm, rioting, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Now, according to the PCSO officials, Ramos admitted to being intoxicated during the incident. Is he from Canton? Which caused him not to report what allegedly happened first. So he was intoxicated and on probation. Now, his wife wound up being the one who called the cops, with detectives asking that he come forward to cooperate and put the teens behind bars. They beat me without mercy, said beat him without mercy, said Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, at a press briefing Friday, jumped on him like a pack of wild animals. Ramos suffered serious injuries to his face as a result of the alleged, laying hands on, including broken nose, broken jaw, multiple lacerations, and swelling. The sheriff's office released an image of him in the hospital showing the severity of his injuries, along with the cell phone footage of the alleged incident. So they do have the press conference video here, and what I might do is do a review for a mini Petty Express because I love Sheriff Grady. But yeah, throw him in jail. You know what pisses me off? Okay, so this man has the most beautiful eyes and great cheekbones, but he's such a douche. So again, why would God give great cheekbones to douches? It just doesn't make sense. It is not fair. He would make a beautiful drag queen is what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, you'd know he was one, but the cheekbones, the eyes, the unibrow, I can tell, sir. Um, get him some makeup, he can be a great drag queen. Or he'll be a wife in prison, allegedly in Minecraft. So people are getting really upset with the anchor. Remember that story I showed you of a woman passing out? People are getting really mad at his response. Now, I will preface this with this is from BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed does tend to land a bit more progressive on where they stand as far as social issues. So they're going to be a little bit more maybe touchy feely or have a different perspective. Be a human first and Anchorman second. People are slamming this Fox News host for trying to continue his segment after a guest fainted on air. So this is, you won't be able to hear sound. Okay, yeah, that's kind of like if you see someone falling, I don't care if I'm on air or not. I don't care if my leg hurts or not. I am running. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I jerked my leg because my daughter was getting beautiful, prom pictures on grass, and she nearly fell, so, again, with no thought, and I'm not trying to make myself a hero or nothing, that is not the part of the story, I'm not, like, humble bragging or nothing, but she started to fall and I picked her up, with no thought because that's just my natural I mean, I think that's most people's natural implications. Now, I do understand being on camera and he probably has producers yelling in his ear that, "Hey, stop. Don't stop, we'll take care of her, keep going." So there's that added piece that I don't think they get that he is probably getting yelled at by producers to say, "Hey, we're gonna focus on you while we try to take care of her, so keep going." That being said, it does piss me off that he didn't try to help her. I mean, on a person level, I don't put any politics into it or anything like that, but it does hurt me that he didn't even try to lean over or go get her. She's on the floor. I mean, I don't know. I get both sides, but it does bother me. So I'm trying to get to the comments because people are ticked. And a lot of these comments are a bit political, but my coworkers and I are oh, yeah, so a lot of people are really getting I get that people were already rushing to our side, but oh, I'm sorry, these are comments. I get that, like, people were already rushing to her side, but, like, wouldn't a normal person respond to, like, maybe cut commercials immediately instead of trying to, like, half-ass continuing with, like, nothing? Another person said, "Be a human first and anchor second." Hot take, if someone passes out and falls off their chair next to you on live TV and you don't continue like nothing happened, you get out of your stupid chair and help them. So again, people are pissed off, but it's the internet and people are always pissed off. So it swings and roundabouts. Tomorrow they'll be pissed off about something else. It's the circle of pissed off. It's a beautiful thing or an exhausting thing. I mean, you take your pick. A bright green fireball in the Australian sky, or in Australia's sky, identified as one hell of a meteor. All right, as always, you won't be. Actually, this is local news, and they get pissed off when you do that. Where is the big green that you showed, you giant jackasses? Astronomy experts in Western Australia say a big green light that illuminated the early morning sky over the state was actually one hell of a meteor. Witnesses ranging from Perth to Goldfields reported seeing a bright light streak across the sky around 6 a.m. Monday, or sorry, Sunday, and caught. Well, let's see if we can play this and I can cut it later. Are you always going to be there? Yeah, I don't wanna play too much of that, but that's what it looked like. Now, I would have assumed aliens, but I'm not a scienceologist. And some were even able to catch the orange and green fireball on camera. Matthew Woods from Perth Observatory told Nine News that the fireball was one hell of a meteor ranging in size from a cricket ball to a basketball. That was very nice, a little surprise for Mother's Day. Well, we like to make moms feel good. Woods said the meteor was likely comprised of iron that caught fire while entering the atmosphere. And that's where you're getting to see that lovely green orange glow. So there you go. Experts are currently working to try to determine whether any remnants of the meteor made it back to Earth in the outback. Yeah, there's this necklace I want that has a piece of meteor on it because I'm a giant nerd. I have a mother's necklace that has the elements that spell out mom. Now, if I could remember what those elements were, I would tell you, but I don't remember them right now. And in our another story, a Soviet era spacecraft will hit the ocean after 50 years in orbit. Well, I'm sure that'll be good for the ocean. Free Willy will be so happy. A Soviet era spacecraft, not area, Soviet era spacecraft, uh, that absorbed or orbited Earth for more than 50 years will crash into the Indian Ocean on Saturday, Russian officials confirm. The Cosmos 482 spacecraft, launched in 1972, ceased to exist, deorbiting and falling into the Indian Ocean. The Russian state space program, Rusocosmos, said on the cloud-based social media platform Telegram. The spacecraft hit the ocean around 9:24 Mountain Standard Time Saturday, or 2:24 Eastern Daylight Time. The descent of the spacecraft was monitored by the Automated Warning System for Hazardous Situations Near Earth Space, according to Rosmakos Post. Well, there you go. I have no idea. That is really fun. In our final story, you guys, this is I don't know if I'm surprised, happy, or shocked, or just kind of amused by this whole story. Not amused that he assaulted someone, but why are you carrying a lightsaber just on the daily? A Nebraskan was jailed for lightsaber attacks. A Nebraska man is behind bars on a pair of felony charges for allegedly striking a female neighbor and the woman's 7-year-old daughter with a Star Wars lightsaber, according to court records. Now, I can tell you that Star Wars Theory makes his own lightsabers. Yes, I'm an uber nerd, and those things are expensive. I do want one because, well, it lights up and it's really sturdy, and I'm not supporting Disney in any way. That being said, I promise okay, I sort of promise to use my lightsaber for good. I mean, my goodness is always contingent on people not testing me. I don't understand why people continue to test the Jesus in me when I told them it was low. Doesn't make sense to me. Seems like the cost benefit or the, pro con column would tell you not to mess with me. Investigators allege that Aiden Orrin White, 25, first struck the girl while she was playing with other children in the front yard of her Auburn home. When the child's mother, Chandra Luzman, 37, confronted White, he yelled at her, quote, "I'm not in the mood. Get back in your effing house." White then allegedly charged Sandra, wielding his lightsaber in an arrest affidavit. He struck her on her right arm and shoulder, reported sheriff's deputy. Now, both Lutzman and her daughter said they were in pain following the lightsaber strikes. Two neighbors told the cops that they had witnessed White hitting the victims with a lightsaber, which investigators described as a higher quality device. So he got it from Star Wars Theory. You spent like a gajillion dollars on them. Are you art-tarded? Did you eat lead paint? Also, Nebraska. So, when evidence, when you're done with a trial, do you happen to have auctions? Because I'm willing to bet on the lightsaber and the lightsaber only. I know you don't want it in, your custody. You don't want to give it back to him. I say, you let me buy that sucker for about $25 or $3. I'm willing to negotiate between $3 and $25. Get back to me. So it was higher quality, approximately 3.5 feet long, constructed of metal and thick plastic. The lightsaber, a deputy noted, could cause significant pain and injury when used to strike an individual. Now, during police questioning, White reportedly confessed to the attack, saying it was unacceptable behavior for which he wanted to apologize. God dang it, is what your defense attorney is saying. While cordial to the cops, White would have profane and angry outbursts that included him blaming the victims for the rise in his rent. He also warned of future problems for Lutzman and her child. The lightsaber was seized as evidence. White, seen above, was charged in a criminal complaint with 2 felony assault counts. He is being held in lieu of $50,000 bail, according to a May 6 commitment order, scheduled for a June 3rd court appearance while being ordered by a judge to undergo a competency evaluation. Again, as I leave you, Nebraska, come here. Come here, sweeties. Come here. Look, I think we know where this case is going, and I know you don't want to give him that lightsaber back. Um, I'm a beautiful young girl from Indiana who would only use the lightsaber for good. I am, in fact, I'm a better Jedi because I see things in gray, kind of a rogue, if you will. But I could take that off you again for $3.50 or $25. You decide. Final offer. Anywho, soul. When you get a chance, if you guys want to go over to the Karen Reed trial in the morning, I will be there for about an hour, and then I'm going to get my teeth done. Um, so JKD Buck, I tried to put one on, but it kept showing like all of my personal stuff. So long story short, I have no idea what I'm doing. I could have a wish list. I think I can put one up on Buy Me a Coffee. Um, I just suck out loud at trying to figure out how to set them up. But I am going to probably get one at some point. There you go. Have a lovely day. As always, if you're just here for the Mornings with Mo, remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because you've got rogue, evil Jedis out here using my lightsaber. I mean, it just ain't fair. How did he get a lightsaber? Well, because he lives in his mom's basement and he doesn't have any expenses. I have made I have understood the mission. Anywho, you guys, I will see you in just a little bit. I am going to go over to Baker or our dual stream and hang out for a little bit before I go to the dentist for a cleaning. And they tell me I need to fill cavities, which sucks. Bye, you guys.